Hey everybody, welcome back to VLOGUARY. Today we are finally filming my November monthly plan with me. So, like I said in the last one, normally I do these ahead of time because I like having some sort of stickered plans ahead of time. But for the next couple of monthly spreads, they're going to be memory keeping because I just literally wasn't even home in November. So that's what we're working with. So November was a really uncharacteristic month for us. We would not normally be traveling in a month like this just because work for both of us is kind of intense. I do not want this to go here. Please don't stick there. Okay, we survived. I'm trying a slightly different tripod setup lately, so putting down giant stickers like this is a little tricky at the moment. But it can be done. I just realized the background of this has like all of the pie names. So like banana, peach, blueberry. I had a banana pie recently that was actually quite good. I was not expecting it to be super good, but it was. And I forget the name of the place. Our friends bought it for our like Friendsgiving. That was in December. But yeah, we were all kind of surprised. We're like, oh, because I guess the really popular flavors sold out pretty quickly. So some sort of banana pie, which normally I wouldn't be like that much about, but like I said, it was pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna put down my days of the week. Sorry, I had to like focus on those giant stickers to make sure they actually went down on the page correctly. But yeah, November was a weird month. Originally, we were going to go to New Zealand in January 2024. And with Clover getting sick and needing us to give her medication twice a day, that just was not going to happen. And I'm especially glad we did not go in January 2024, like try and delegate her medication to somebody else, because she ended up relapsing in February and I never would have forgiven myself. Because if something horrible had happened to her in February, I would have been like, why did we abandon her basically for 2 weeks? So ultimately I'm glad that we postponed it. Unfortunately, with Air New Zealand, the type of flight that we had originally booked, you had to rebook it within 10 months. Which was like, I don't love that for me. And we wanted to make sure we went in at least their spring, if not their summer. So we rebooked it for November 2024 because that was really the only time we could go. And then our friends announced they were getting married in November as well. So luckily the dates didn't overlap. But we were like, that's going to be a lot of travel. So that's what we're going to do today. So let's just jump into it because there's going to be a lot to talk about here. We're going to put aside our date dots for now. I redate the planner with a Monday start because that's just what I've been preferring. I think with December I might have to not do that though because I might run out of boxes to work with. That's the only risk you run. Oh no, maybe it'll be fine. Well, we'll deal with that when we get there. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to mark on Saturday, which will be redated to be the 2nd, is that we went to a friend's house for their Diwali dinner. They hosted us, which was very nice of them. And then the next day, Sunday the 3rd, was one of my brother's birthdays. I'm going to save, I think, my boxes for the travel because I feel like I'm going to need it. So I'm just going to use an icon from the kit to mark my brother's birthday. And then I'm going to mark Election Day with a sticker from Itty Bitty Sticker Day. What? Itty Bitty Sticker Co. And then I did have to take my husband to the hospital just to get something checked out this day. So I'm just going to pull in a doctor from the kit. And then Friday the 8th was my payday. Normally it's the 10th, but because that was on a weekend and it was a holiday weekend, I got paid a little bit early, which I'm not going to complain about. And then this was where we left for Mexico City for our friend's wedding. So I pulled in these airplane stickers for the smaller flights from a Michael sticker book that I have. So we're just going to start putting all of these in. It was kind of funny. We didn't know we were on the same flight as our friends who had hosted us the weekend before. How we know them is that we know them through this friend, and we all happen to live in the same city. So we get to the airport and we're just like, oh, hey. So we were on the exact same flight, not seated next to each other, of course, but it was good to, because we did have like a layover at SFO. There were no direct flights from Sacramento to Mexico City. So yeah, we had to fly to SFO. It was the shortest flight ever. And then after that, we were able to fly to Mexico City. So we got in like Friday night. And then Saturday the 9th was the wedding. We'll talk more about like details and all of that when we get to the weekly memory keeping, but I'm just going to go ahead and use a big old docs for the wedding. And then this is from Cinderella Paper. And then the Sunday was, I forgot to grab a sticker for this, but there was a post-wedding brunch, so I might get a sticker for that later. And then we had to fly out super duper early this morning, and unfortunately, we got food poisoning. I'm not exactly sure from where, but it happened. We didn't drink the tap water or anything. We tried to be careful about like what we were eating, but it got us. So we were supposed to fly out at like, I think our flight was supposed to be at like 7. Luckily, this is the only time I will say this, luckily we were delayed by a couple of hours because we kept having to like go to the bathroom and stuff. I will spare you, of course, all of the details because who needs to hear that? But yeah, I had some embarrassing moments in public, and also I was just feeling really lightheaded, like having to stand in line, and like the Mexico City airport is very busy, of course. So standing in line while being like dizzy and sick was awful, but we made it home. We had to go through LAX on the way home, which is bleh, the worst. So there's that. We made it home alive in one piece. That's from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. if you can't tell. Wednesday, we were like, we need help because we were still not better. So we went to urgent care. And the doctor was very nice. She was like, it's probably viral, but I can prescribe a Z-Pack. If you're not better by the end of the week, because we explained like we're going on another trip. We know, kind of dumb, but like, what do you recommend doing? And she's like, well, you should be better by the end of the week. And we're like, really? We weren't. But she was like, it's probably viral. So we're like, we'll listen to the doctor, of course. But after the end of that week, I was definitely not better. My husband was kind of just like dealing with it. I was like, I am not better and this is not good. So I ended up taking the antibiotics and they worked. Thank God. I was worried about like taking them and then them not working. And then like, I'm very paranoid about like antibiotic resistance. My parents both worked in healthcare, so like I know a lot about that, and we got a problem. But anyway, luckily the antibiotics worked, which means it was bacterial, which means we're all good. So that was urgent care. Marked Clover being 19 months here, and then on Saturday we left for our next trip, which is kind of crazy. I would not necessarily do this again. Oh, Evie. Evie. She's like, you're not paying attention to me. Anyway, I wouldn't do it again, personally, cram this many things into 1 month, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Like, we didn't have to go to the wedding. We debated, we're like, we love these two, but can we go to Mexico City? But we're like, yeah, we should definitely try to go. And I'm glad we did because the wedding was lovely, even if we got sick afterwards. So we drove, well, we didn't drive out to SFO. My dad drove us out to Richmond BART, and then we took the BART train to SFO, which was a pretty good way to go about that. That's not your food. Sorry, Evie has decided she's not gonna nap anymore this afternoon, so she was eating out of Clover's bowl. But yeah, BART was a good way to get to and from that airport. We couldn't get a flight out of Sacramento to New Zealand, so I need to spend more time at SFO. It's nice out there. We crossed the international date line this day, so technically we never lived this day. We skipped it? I don't know. My brain kind of hurts thinking about it sometimes. And then, how many more boxes do I have? I might end up pulling up some of these and like replacing them with boxes eventually, but I just don't want to like run out of boxes, you know what I mean? So then we were in Auckland here. This is where I started taking my antibiotics because I was like, the first day there, I wasn't necessarily jet lagged, but I didn't feel great. So I'm like, I think I need to start taking the antibiotics because I've already been sick for a week and this is not good. Then, so basically I kind of just like laid in bed all day Monday, the first day we were there. Tuesday, I was feeling a bit better. I was still like doing stuff with students virtually. So normally I would do one-on-one meetings with them anyway this time of year. So that's basically how we were doing things, was conferences to go over their drafts. But this day we did go to the Auckland Museum. We walked around the Domain, which is like generally what they call parks, they call domain, or what we call parks, they call domains. Don't know why, but that's just what I noticed. And we walked around the harbor, so that was nice. Wednesday, the 20th was, forgot to grab a sticker for this, 6 months of Clover's observation. That day we went to Waitomo glowworm caves and what do you call it? Hobbiton. So I have a Planet Hannah sticker for that. It's Hobbit themed. And then I felt like this one needed to be on a box since it's a foiled icon. And then Thursday, this day, we made our way out to Rotorua. So I'm gonna put in a box anytime we switch cities. And we're gonna use a car for that, even though we took a bus to get out there. Friday, we went to the Maori village for a hangi for their feast. So I have a like fork and knife icon for that. And then Saturday, we flew out to Wellington. And we went on the cable car up the hill, up the mountain, basically to view, what am I trying to say? View the city. Wellington's beautiful. Should definitely visit if you can. It's a very pretty city. It's their capital city. Sunday, we went to a workshop, but also we went to the Museum of New Zealand. Saw all the treaty documents and all of that that's been like big in the news lately, and everyone was mentioning that, both at the Maori village and the museum as well. Like they were very aware that people were paying attention to that lately. And then Monday, we flew to Christchurch. So what color do I want for that? I guess the pink again. And we went to the Antarctic Center. So actually for that, I think I'm gonna do a full box. No, I want full boxes on Tuesday and this Friday. That's what I've decided. Because Tuesday and Friday were National Parks days. That's like a big deal. So we're gonna use our last 2 full boxes for that, because those are both a big deal. Wanted to make sure that we got out to at least a couple different national parks. There's a few others that I'm like, I would love to go back and visit. And like we met a European couple, like I think they were Dutch, on our flight home, and they're like, oh, you didn't go here, here, and here. I'm like, yeah, we didn't. We were here for 2 weeks, and they're like, oh, we were here for like 6 weeks. I'm like, it must be nice to be European. They were nice, but I just think it's funny how Europeans talk sometimes. They're just like, you don't have like infinite time off. I'm like, no, we know. And then they'll be like, oh, well, you must make a lot more money because of that. I'm like, oh, I wish. So anyway, now I need to figure out what sticker I'm going to use over here. I think we'll use green for going to Christchurch. Christchurch is definitely still rebuilding from everything with their earthquakes from several years ago, like over a decade ago. So I was kind of surprised how new so many of the buildings looked, and it's because they really had to like condemn a lot of buildings, unfortunately. But there's still plenty to see there. That's very pretty. So that's for going to Christchurch. We went to an Arctic Center, and then this will be for Iraqi National Park. This is from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. because that was like an all-day thing. And then this day, oh, I don't like the box options I have left. The colors don't work. What am I gonna do? Hold on. Monthly plan with me can be a little tricky when you have a lot of things that you want to mark. I don't normally mark this many things in a monthly plan with me just because there's not usually this much going on. So I just am gonna have to use like a smaller label because I would rather mix up the colors than have the right size label, if that makes sense. So this will be for flying to Queenstown. The flight into Queenstown is gorgeous. Like a lot of the flights between cities are, and we opted to fly between cities just to save time because like I said, we had like, what, 13 days total. And that's all we had. So flying just made more sense. Plus, neither of us were quite comfortable like driving on the opposite side of the road personally. I know for a lot of people that's like a life goal, but we were just like, let's, you know, chill. And then if we're tired, like it doesn't matter because we won't be like responsible for driving off the road. You know what I mean? So I like to relax on vacation. We went to a really special place called Kiwi Park on Thursday the 28th, which of course was Thanksgiving, but not in New Zealand. So that was kind of funny. Everything was open. The Department of Conservation run the site, and they are raising some young kiwi in order to be able to release them back into the wild, hopefully. So that was really special to be able to see them. And then on Friday, the 29th, we went to Milford Sound National Park and got to go on a boat ride through what is technically a fjord. It's called a sound, but our bus driver slash tour guide majored in geology, is a retired school teacher. He worked at an all-boys school, so he was totally over boys. And now he drives tours to various places on the South Island. Lost his home in the Christchurch earthquake, but he had a very like optimistic viewpoint of it. He was like, you know, like we got money from the government for the insurance on the house, and we got a new house, and it's just kind of part of being New Zealander. So anyway, he was interesting, but he kept ranting about how it's called Milford Sound, but it's really a fjord because you can look it up, the difference between a fjord and a sound, but like one is like the water is going into the land, one is the water's going out. I took geology, but I still couldn't explain it to you, but anyway, he was funny. So that's from What's Wrong with Love. And then this day we flew home. We lived Saturday the 30th twice. Isn't that fun? So we're running into the same problem where I have this color left, and I don't necessarily want to have that color left, but it's what we got. I think I'm just going to, which color do I want on this day? I guess green. Evie is running rampant. Oh boy, this cat. So yeah, this is the day we flew back to California, and we lived that day twice. It was very weird. Not as weird as just like skipping a day entirely, but that's how it goes. If you don't know, New Zealand is 21 hours ahead of California, so I didn't really feel jet lagged, because like it was basically around the same time of day as it would be back home. I got terribly jet lagged when we went to the UK several years ago, but that's another story. Okay, I'm gonna find where else I should put in these boxes. I really can't do one here or here because that's too much pink in one spot. I could do one here for crossing the international date line, or here for our friend's dinner. We have lots of options. And then I have one more yellow label too. So let me figure that out and I'll be right back. All right, we figured that out. So I'm gonna go ahead and put in all of the date dots. Here's what's left of the kit, just like 5 characters at this point, and I will write everything in double check that I didn't miss anything, and then I will show you the final result. Alrighty, that is everything filled out, and I absolutely love it. I mean, there's something marked on almost every single day, and that is not normal for my monthly view, and it's really exciting. This is a very abnormal month for me, for sure. This is not something that is typical for us, but it looks so cute. And yeah, I am kind of missing like not having a Thanksgiving kit, although I used like Thanksgiving leftovers from a kit in like September because it was just generic fall. But yeah, I'm missing having a Thanksgiving kit this year, but this looks great too. So thank you so much for watching. Of course, for like these weeks, I'll go into more detail about everything that happened in the weekly spreads. But for now, that's just kind of the overview of what to look forward to in the next few memory keeping videos. I am going to say there might be a little bit of a gap in Vloguary the next few days. I'm filming this on our wedding anniversary. Sorry, my cat was making a really loud noise in the litter box in the other room. It is my wedding anniversary today. My husband's working today, and technically so am I. I have meetings tomorrow. But, so we're going to be celebrating this weekend, obviously. And because of the issues I had with my camera battery, like I wasn't able to film a lot of stuff ahead of time because the camera just kept dying every 3 seconds. So I'm a little bit behind. I apologize. I'm going to put as many of these videos up as I possibly can for you. And I have a lot of work meetings the next 2 days and next 3 days really, and then we're celebrating our anniversary. So obviously all of that takes precedence over videos, but I will get back on track as soon as possible. So stay tuned for that. The next video will probably be the Mexico week, so that'll be pretty exciting if I do say so myself. So again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your patience with me, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.